fence number 1. It's really pretty with lots of flowers, decoration, good ground line, and a round top. So it's a great place to start. We're going to get out of the way because Tim's trying to do a course lock, but it's a really straightforward fence with a nice ground. Fence 3, it's a retainer, nice big log on top. Not too bad on the ditch, so just don't look in and you won't. Alright, here we have fence 4A, B, and C. It's this very upright at the rise of a hill. Down in 3 over that big hedge. We'll show you the drop on the other side. And then straight to the left side would be the corner that I would choose because it's a straight route. It's a left-handed corner with hedge on the top. Or if you have a bit of trouble somewhere, you could loop around the back and do another corner that's at the bottom of the hill. We'll show you.
And then we'll do that. We'll do all the ones that are along that line.
Showing you the drop. I'm sure some of you remember that video from WEG 2014. And then you head over to that corner, which is a nice beefy corner in 4. This is going to ride really big. If you have trouble there, you have to loop around the back and do the corner down there, which will take a lot of time. Ditch and you'll be fine. Come galloping on down here, look over the brush, and throw your heart over first. It's onto the water from here. Step table, and we wrap around in a big U-turn and head to the water.
Oh yeah, don't you think? You like it? Oh, it's so awesome. The trick.
All right, we're trying not to interfere in Karen O'Connor's great course walk, but I wanted you guys to see the beautiful decorations they do with the fish on this jump. This fence is going to have quite a big drop, and then people are talking about bending out in a 5 or doing a direct 4. I don't know what to do on the wood store, but I'm probably thinking direct 4. This jump is really wide with a little bit of drop on the landing. It is also handmade and absolutely beautiful with all that kind of wax in the middle, and then they push all the vegetables in and then they coat them all to make sure they don't turn yellow. I saw this jump last year with the lady making it and just thought it was very beautifully done. I love this fence because we've already had 2 of these. Don't look in the ditch, throw your heart over first, if in doubt. Alright, we have a really big table at the head of the lake with a slight drop on the landing, tiny bit of an interspace. You have to have a good shot in here, but it does give you a nice takeoff for B, I think. So that's going to be helpful because it's a 3 stride right to the base there. So hopefully you'll get a good bascule and nobody will rub any stifles. And then I think it's a forward 3 to the salmon that you can see there. I'm sure it'll be ridden in 4 and 3. And then we're going to bend left and do that big wedge that's got a cutout on the right. And then up the slope, we'll show you over there, and another 4 stride, and up over another wedge that has a cutout on the left. Here's 11, A and B. We've come from the salmon, now we're bending 5. I think it's going to be the 4 going out. But other than that, the fences are solid. The horses can see the nice galloping whiskey barrel table to get you going again after the head of the lake. 13A, this is very upright with almost a false ground line. Not gonna lie, it makes me pretty sick. You're gonna just bounce off that mound without going on it, and then you've got a really steep right-handed corner back there. It's open, it's not too severe, but the front edge of it is very, very, very steep line. Open oxer, it's a little bit of an interspace, so we'll have to hold our shoulders. Number 15, you come up this rise, step over this cabin. You're going to come onto a little bit of a plateau, and then straight down. It walks in a 4, but you never know what happens with the undulating ground. Over the B element that's closest to us, and then track left over that red roofed cabin C. If you had any kind of trouble and you wanted to, you could swing out and do the B that's behind that one, and then you could either do the C over here to our right or the C on the way out. I don't know how you would get to it. So the long routes are really long this year. 16, the double brush oxer, nice galloping fence to get their confidence after the hollow and let them take a breath at the bottom of the hill. 17, this table, but you got to jump it with enough step that you get across the width, but you got to be careful because you have a bending turn around that fish to the most narrow fence on the course so far. 18A, and then B is in the water. Once we get over there, we'll show you just how narrow. I saw something as narrow as this is WEG in France, and I'm pretty sure we put Jamal's boot in front, Holly Bennett's husband. This is as narrow as my boot. And I know I have big feet, ladies and gentlemen, but that's a very narrow fence. It's also extremely wide after that oxer on the turn. It's on a little bit of sloping land into the water and then straight onto that CD element. It gets a little complicated here. There is a BC, which is the cabin on the left. You can't jump a fence twice, so if you have a bobble on landing, you have to go straight to C and D because that one in the middle of the cabin is labeled BC, and if you jump it, you're re-jumping fence B and you'll get eliminated. Note to self. And then the C element would be way over. You'd have to go up on dry land, do a UE to the right, and jump over that wedge that you can see way over near the golf carts. So now we're at the back side of it. You can see the table to the right, and then you do the bending, I think it's going to be a 7, to the Land Rover skinny in, which is the one I showed you with a skinny boot, and then straight onto this one in front of us. If you can't get in over the A over there, the AB, sorry, then you would go over to where our friendly Graham Tom is, and you would do that A in straight onto the cabin, which is BC, which is behind this Land Rover, and then wrap around and jump the C element, sorry, in here. So that would be A, B, C, D. That's your D element. Footbridge number 19. It's a classic Rolex fence. It's across a ditch. You're going to want to jump where the yellow flowers are so that you land nice and straight. They've got trees to help make sure you have a really good line here. Alright, here we've got number 20, this bank up with a little ditch, give you a ground line, and then a one stride to this log, which is on the slope down. It's going to be a really big into space, I think, and then you've got to bend right in, I think, 4 or 5, I'm not sure. I'm going to re-walk it to that stump with the hedge on the back. If you have a problem, you can loop around to the left and do this slightly smaller stump here. But as I said, the long routes are really long. 21 is the open oxer over there. We're not going to walk all the way over there because the weather looks like it's going to downpour on us. And we're going to cut over to the next combination. Jump really big, I think, because of the hedge and it's fairly wide. You come right out from behind the trees and this appears. And then it's pretty much a direct 3. You don't have a lot of choices to that B, which is on a really steep angle. At least it is a covered corner. The option is really far away. You have to track right as you come out of the trees, do much the exact same table, going away from home, loop around and do a right-handed corner. As I said, the long routes this year are really time-consuming. All right, so I thought this looked easy, and then when I got up close, I realized how hard it was. You got to jump over this hanging log, bending line 4 through the undulating ground, and jump the B and C, D. You'll see it when we go over there, and it's the tail end of the brush on the left side. If you have trouble, you can do the big bank table over there and then a big bank table over there, but the long routes are really far away. Close to home, we've got the traditional stick pile here, fence 24, to catch your breath before you go back into the last water. We've got these really cute RK 3DE boats. Got a little bit of undulating ground, even though the fences aren't that imposing. It's late in the course and they've got to jump back into the water, back down a drop. You got to be thinking with your head and got your spur in and your shoulders back. All right, we are cutting corners everywhere here, trying to get back for a riders meeting at 6. So you can see the little cottage, the thatched cottage down there. Another galloping fence, and you're really close to home now. Second to last, it's a combination. It's an angled one. It's going downhill, and these are quite big. They are in nice shape, and the horses do understand the question, but everybody's going to be tempted getting close to home, coming downhill. You just gotta keep your head about you and your wits about you. There is an option if you wanted to jump 27A straight. You could do a roll back to the right and do this B on your left if you're worried about a run out. Welcome site number 28, the Lucky Horseshoe. I actually like this fence. It doesn't have an overhang, so horses won't be ducking and doing anything silly. It has some brush to give it some height, and hopefully they'll jump it with a little bit of air. And then it's a nice round shape with the dark rail in there, some color, good ground line. Fingers crossed that we'll be able to belt it down and jump this out of gallop.